For the last 2 years, the AI coding debate has mostly sounded like vibes. Cursor feels better. Claude Code feels smarter. Copilot is more integrated. OpenAI is catching up. This agent is faster. That agent writes cleaner code. Everyone has an opinion, but enterprises do not run on vibes forever. They run on metrics, and GitHub's Copilot usage metrics are becoming much more detailed about how people actually use AI coding surfaces. GitHub can already show organizations things like active users, model usage, chat modes, agent activity, code generation, accepted code, lines added, lines deleted, and adoption across surfaces like IDE chat, code review, CLI, and Copilot Cloud Agent. That sounds boring. It is not. Because once companies can measure which AI workflows developers actually use, the AI coding war changes. It stops being a YouTube comment argument. It becomes an adoption graph. So in this video, we are going to talk about why AI coding telemetry matters, why GitHub is in a powerful position, how companies will use these numbers, and why the agent that wins may not be the one with the loudest launch. Stick around to the end, because this creates a brutal new question for every AI coding startup. Are developers really using you when nobody is watching the demo? Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this. Now, back to the video. The first phase of AI coding was novelty. People tried Copilot Autocomplete. They asked ChatGPT for snippets. They copied code into a browser. They experimented. Nobody really knew how much of it mattered. Then came the second phase, agents. Now the AI could edit multiple files, run commands, create pull requests, review code, fix bugs, and sometimes complete entire issues. That created a new management problem. If you're a company paying for AI tools, you need to know who is using them, which tools are they using. Are they using chat, autocomplete, code review, or agents? How much code is being generated? How much is being accepted? What models are being used? Which teams adopted the workflow? Which teams ignored it? And is any of this worth the money? GitHub's metrics are designed to answer more of those questions. They let organizations see adoption and activity across Copilot surfaces. They can distinguish IDE agent mode from cloud agent activity. They can show model usage across chat modes like ask, edit, plan, and agent. They can report agent contribution as a share of lines changed. They can attribute activity to users in enterprise and organization reports. And the trend is obvious. AI coding is becoming measurable at the organization level. That matters because adoption data is ruthless. A tool can have a beautiful launch video and terrible daily usage. A model can win a benchmark and lose inside a real company. A developer can say they like one agent but quietly use another because it is already built into the workflow. Executives may buy the shiny tool. Telemetry shows whether engineers actually come back. This is especially important because AI coding tools are not cheap. Agent sessions can consume a lot of tokens. They can trigger repeated model calls. They can generate large diffs. They can run for many minutes. They can use expensive frontier models. So the question becomes, what are we getting for this spend? Not in theory, in the repo, in the pull request, in the team's real workflow. That is why GitHub is dangerous here. GitHub sits where the work lands. It sees repositories, it sees pull requests, it sees reviews, it sees issues, it sees code changes, it owns Copilot, and it can connect AI activity to software delivery much more naturally than a standalone chatbot can. It also has one more advantage. GitHub can measure work in the language software teams already understand, not just prompts, not just tokens, pull requests, reviews, lines changed, checks, repositories, adoption by team. That makes the AI conversation less abstract. A manager does not have to ask, did people like the AI? They can ask, where did AI actually enter our delivery process and what happened after that? That question is going to matter during renewals. When a company is paying for multiple AI coding products, the budget conversation changes. Tool A may be popular with a vocal group of power users. Tool B may be used quietly by the majority because it is already approved and integrated. Tool C may produce impressive demos but barely appear in real work. Tool D may be expensive but valuable for a specific team doing migrations or security review. Without metrics, that debate becomes political. With metrics, it becomes harder to fake. Not perfectly objective, but much harder to fake. The best tool is not automatically the one with the most usage. But the tool with no sustained usage has a problem, and the tool that produces lots of activity but low quality pull requests also has a problem. So the next frontier is not just measuring whether AI was used, it is measuring whether AI use led to outcomes teams actually value, shorter review cycles, fewer repeated failures, better test coverage, faster boring migrations, lower support burden, less time spent on repetitive code. That is the difference between adoption metrics and impact metrics. And impact metrics are much harder. They require connecting AI activity to the quality of the work afterward. Did the generated code survive review? Did it cause follow-up fixes? Did tests fail more often? Did the team understand the change? Did the agent speed up boring work or create hidden review burden? Those are the questions that will separate useful AI adoption from dashboard theater. The numbers matter, but the interpretation matters more. That does not mean GitHub sees everything a developer does in every tool, but it does mean GitHub is building the measurement layer for a huge part of AI-assisted software development, and measurement changes behavior. If managers can see agent adoption, they will ask why some teams use agents and others do not. If they can see code generated by agents, they will ask whether reviews need to change. If they can see model usage, they will ask whether expensive models are worth it. If they can see token consumption, they will ask who is spending the budget. If they can compare tools, they will ask which ones to keep. That creates pressure. Some of it is good. Companies should know whether a tool is useful. Teams should learn which workflows actually save time. Security teams should understand where AI touches code. Platform teams should invest in what developers really use, but some of it is uncomfortable. Developers may not love being measured by AI usage. Nobody wants a dashboard that says Alice used agents 400 times this month, Bob only used them twice. That number alone does not tell you who is a better engineer. Maybe Alice is doing repetitive migration work. Maybe Bob is debugging a subtle distributed systems issue where agents are less helpful. Maybe one team has great tests and the other has a messy legacy codebase. Metrics can inform decisions. They can also flatten nuance. There is a second order effect here too. Once usage is visible, vendors start optimizing for the metric. If GitHub can show agent contribution, tools will try to increase agent contribution. If dashboards show active agent users, leaders will ask how to increase active agent users. If model usage is broken down by mode, teams will debate which models belong in ask, edit, plan, and agent flows. That can be useful. It can also get silly very quickly. The worst version is a company treating AI usage like a productivity score. More prompts equals better developer. More generated lines equals more value. More agent sessions equals modernization. That is nonsense. A senior engineer who prevents a bad migration may produce fewer AI visible changes than someone generating thousands of unnecessary lines. So the smart companies will use these metrics diagnostically. Where is adoption happening? Where are agents getting stuck? Which workflows produce reviewable pull requests? Which teams need training? Which tools are burning budget without producing usable code? That is the useful version. The metrics should start better conversations, not replace judgment. So the responsible version of this future is not use more AI or you're behind. The responsible version is which workflows help which teams and where do we need better guardrails. That is the difference between useful telemetry and performative surveillance. The bigger competitive story is that AI coding tools now have to prove retention. It is not enough to impress a developer for 20 minutes. You need to become part of daily work. You need to handle boring tasks. You need to work inside existing permissions. You need to survive enterprise rollout. You need to show measurable value, and the products that can connect model behavior to engineering outcomes will have a massive advantage. So when GitHub expands usage metrics, do not dismiss it as an admin feature. It is part of the AI coding battleground. The model war gets attention, the agent war gets demos, but the measurement war decides budgets, and once companies can see which agent developers actually use, the market gets a lot less forgiving. The winner will not be the agent with the best slogan, it will be the one that shows up in the metrics and keeps showing up after the hype is gone.